Hey, what's
Hey,
going on, man?
thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Excited to continue the conversation. We are just chatting about acquisitions,
Yeah.
and you have a ton of experience. So tell us a little bit, like what's going on in the market, and a little bit about background on you and
Yeah.
your business.
Yeah. So my name's Justin Cooke. I'm a partner at a company called Empire Flippers. We're the largest curated brokerage for online businesses in the marketplace. We started as a very small company back in 2010. We called ourselves the AdSense Flippers, my business partner and I, Joe Magnotti. And we built our own small niche websites that made money off Google AdSense. And then we started to build those up and build those up. And a lot of people asked to sell their websites with us. So we became the Empire Flippers and allowed other people to sell their businesses. So we went from selling $5,000, $8,000 small AdSense sites up to six-figure and then seven-figure and then even eight-figure listings. E-commerce, Kindle ebook businesses, basically any type of monetization you can think of that creates an online business, we can sell for you.
That was almost how long ago you said?
Yeah, we started in 2010,
Yes.
and then we, with our building our own sites, and then we stopped around 2013 and really started focusing on helping other people sell their online businesses. And that's kind of when we really started to scale. We did smaller businesses to start, and eventually got up to where we've sold just under $500 million in online businesses sold so far.
So 10 years doing this, and there is all kind of different business through that marketplace. And you have content, you got e-commerce, there is, what else? Agencies.
Agencies, DTC or direct to consumer e-commerce businesses, Amazon FBA, even things like Kindle ebook businesses. We had the Teespring craze for a little while, people creating like t-shirt brands and stuff. So there's lots of different ways to skin a cat. We're agnostic in terms of like the monetization or how businesses make money and whether they're sellable. If it makes money and sustainable and investors are interested, we're able to list and sell your business to buyers who want them.
Fantastic. And a few years back, you also started Empire Flippers
Capital.
Capital,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
that evolved into
Yeah, eventually became WebStreet. So, we had people that come to us all the time and say, I'd love to get involved in the space. I'd love to invest in online business, but I don't have the skills or I don't have the time to run this business. And, if it wasn't the skills, they didn't have the skills to like run an online business, we were like, go get the skills, take a couple of years. There's people online you can learn from that will help you and come back in a couple of years. And then people without the time, maybe they already run an online business or have an offline business that takes up all their time. We didn't really have anything for them either. And it was a high quality problem. We have money, we want to give it to you, we want to invest in this space. Like, why are you not giving us an opportunity? And we kind of put it off for a long time. And we eventually said, hey, this is a good problem to solve. We can help make them money, make money for ourselves. So we created what became WebStreet. WebStreet is basically a marketplace where we pair passive investors with active operators. So I put it this way, like if you're an investor, you're looking for a passive return on your money, you want to be exposure to the space, then you get to pick the jockey. So you're going to pick the operator, put the money in, and then the operator can go out and pick a business that meets their criteria to purchase and then give returns to themselves and to the investors along the way. So WebStreet just facilitates that. We pair the passive investors with the operators looking to buy a business with a proven track record. Now, our unique advantage at Empire Flippers, we know a lot of people that have bought businesses, ran them successfully, grown them, sold them in many cases. So we've got a nice, stable of operators to pull from on the Empire Flipper side.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's pretty unique. And it looks like the bold and like you have no shortage of people that want to apply as operators. Is that right? Like you have a ton of people reaching out, wanting to be part of it.
There are a lot of operators, and we do have a ton of them kind of like waiting in the wings. We're pretty strict on the criteria because, we are trying to get WebStreet off the ground, trying to get profitability. So we're very careful in the selection of operators. We run them through a pretty rigorous test. They have to have bought a business, they have to go prove their track record. We have them do like pre-due diligence in their acquisition to see if they know what they're doing in terms of like vetting a business. But once they get through, then we'll normally do a fund. We'll do a round where we have anywhere from 3 to 6 different operators as part of the fund. And then the investors come along, they see the fund, and they can invest in that fund as a group. And then all those operators are going to individually buy businesses, but the investors are invested in the fund overall.
Fantastic. So I'll say at the podcast here in Business Scale, we have had at least in the past year and a half, 90% of the people that we have interviewed, they all have taken the SBI path. It's only 30 episodes so far, but that's literally the most common pathway to acquire businesses. What you guys are doing is, an alternative path. And for people that are not fully aware of how that structure works, you're saying there's a fund, there's multiple operators. In that case, like for example, just to give an example to the audience, like if there is a $5 million business out there and there's an operator that you guys trust, they went through a process, you guys raise the capital, is it the full amount of capital raised for that specific acquisition?
Yeah.
Or is it, or you guys do any capital, like loan, commercial loan requirement, or?
Yeah, so it's evolved over time. Originally, when we set it up, it was a certain amount for an individual operator. So let's just say we're in Fund 8 right now, right? And so each individual operator would have a particular kind of range they're looking to raise. So, operator 1 might be looking for 1.2 to 1.6. Operator 2 might be looking for 800,000 to 1.2, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. We've changed that now to where WebStreet makes the determination. So if there's 4 operators and we're raising, let's say 6 million, right? That's 1.5 each. Well, not really. One of the operators may have an acquisition target that's 1.2, and then so there's extra money left over for others. So we did that because finding the right deals is critical, and they only have a 3-month window in which to do that today. So we want to make sure there's a little bit of wiggle room to where if we find one that's a little outside the range or a little below kind of the range we're looking at, it's still a viable acquisition target for them. So we have some flexibility in the fund. Now, from the operator's perspective, one of the benefits of being an operator is that you're able to put, they have skin in the game. So all the investors love the fact that the operators are investing in these businesses as well. Mm-hmm. The first round, you'll put 5% in. So you're going to put, let's say it's $1 million, just to make the math easy. You're putting in $50,000 in the business, and you're getting a 20% equity stake. You got 5% as an investor and 15% as an actual operator in the business. So you get to, as an operator, get to level up, right? Let's say that you were looking to buy your own business, and you have, $400,000 or $500,000. Well, that's not going to get you the size and scale of a business that you would get when you're able to put in $50,000 on $1 million business. And the goal for us and for their operators, we're looking for people that can do scale, right? Because if it's a one-off for you as an operator are less valuable to us at WebStreet. You're less valuable to the investors as well. We want someone that can do this 1, 2, maybe even 3 times a year and really start to build for scale.
Wow, fascinating. So in that example, just to kind of break it down a little bit more, if the operator goes and gets a $1 million business, start operating it, he has that potential path of equity and partnership with you guys. And what happens when things go sideways? The operator is not performing. Like, what are some of those worst case scenarios?
Yeah, we have things in place to basically remove the operator if necessary and replace them with alternative operators. So one of the reasons we have a stable of operators to pull from is if in case, and we say they get hit by a bus or something tragic happens, and we need to replace the operator, we have the ability to do that. It's not a requirement that any investor has to step in and run the business. This is a completely passive investment from their perspective, and so we made it that way. We also don't do capital calls for any of the investors, so there will be no capital calls, there will be no additional raises. We would pass it on to another operator that we have ready to go that can run that business from there.
Wonderful. And in that example, just to wrap up that whole scenario, that operator gets to do it really, really well. Do they have a requirement to sell in a particular time period, or how does that work?
Yeah, we tell all investors, it's like a 3 to 5 year hold period.
Okay.
So, the plan is we're going to sell when it's best for the investors and best for your operators, right? So there are going to be times where it's better to sell the business and not quite as good to sell the business. Right now, for example, is not a great time to sell the business. Or I'd say last year, 2024 is looking a little bit better. I think we're starting to come out, but it has been a buyer's market. And so in terms of selling the businesses from the WebStreet perspective, it hasn't been great. So we give ourselves some wiggle room so we can find the exact right time to sell the business. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's fascinating. So WebStreet, that's I've been checking out their evolution, and I've been following. I talked to a few people here that work with you guys, and it's pretty exciting to see. Now, on a personal level, again, you've been in the space for a while, almost 15 years. You still attending these conferences, and sometimes people ask me like, Gabe, why are you going to these conferences? So what's that for you? Other than, of course, the obvious deal flow and people, like what motivates you personally to continue engaging in this space?
Sure. I mean, particularly with the Dynamite Circle, I love the crew. I mean, these are just my people, right? So, they're very focused on like entrepreneurship and travel. And so in many cases, I meet a lot of the people at this conference. I've met them in multiple different countries. We hang out in Bangkok. I'm going to hang out with a bunch of them in Barcelona this summer.
Yes.
So we kind of do that travel lifestyle, and then we get to talk business or talk shop in all these exotic, cool, fun locations. And so just from a lifestyle perspective, I really like it. Yes, we've done some business here. Yes, there's some like prospecting and stuff going on there. Less today. I mean, I'm not often like pimping our services or anything because it's just my crew. It's people I like, right? So yeah, but we have done business over time. And I'd say earlier on in our business, it was super helpful being involved in masterminds, talking to other sharp, talented people that have great ideas for your business that like sometimes you get stuck in your business and stuck in your head and you're just too in the weeds and you don't really see the kind of like outside possibilities. And masterminds and communities like this really give you an opportunity to get outside of yourself and kind of like see a bigger picture and a bigger opportunity that you might have missed.
Phenomenal. Yeah, I think this is going to be for quite a few more trips this year in DC, and I'm
Are you doing some more?
Yeah. So I'm also thinking on going to Spain and then New York later this year. So I'm excited.
I'm not going to do the New York one.
You're not?
No, because we're going to be in the Philippines. We're doing Christmas with my wife's family this year. So I missed that. It was fun. The New York one was fun last year. So, but yeah, Spain hopefully, and then I'll be in Bangkok in October for the kind of main DC event. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, awesome. And then on content creation, you just told me that like, you're about to launch a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You've done content for a long time. You've been in shows and podcasts. Like, what's working for you right now, and like what is that you're looking for in your own channel? What is it that you want to do with your own content moving forward?
Yeah, so in the last couple of years, both like through my own health and through our business, like we've been through just a ton of different changes, right? And as I go to more communities like this and more masterminds and talking to people, like there's a lot of like business challenges and pivots you take in your business. And so I want to do an interview show where I talk to entrepreneurs that are either in their personal life or their business, they're going through a major change. Either they see one coming or they just recently went through it, and try to help the audience better figure out like when those big major changes are coming, how to navigate them, and how to kind of get through it in a position to where you're better off than when you went in. Sometimes they're outside influences, sometimes they're decisions you make, but we all go through them. And I just think it's really fascinating that like pivotal moments in our business and my life. And so it's really kind of had an impact on me, and I want to share other people's journeys with an audience.
Very cool. I love it. So let me know when the show is out. Like, I'd love to check it out and share with the group as well. I think
Cool.
this conference specifically, pretty much every single speaker was a lot about that, the personal component and the shift and how that impacted businesses. So since like you're gonna have some fun with these interviews, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, last thing to wrap up will be with acquisition entrepreneurship. It's now hot, it's sexy. What will be your recommendation for people that are established business owners that they don't necessarily want to take risks? In fact, we have a few clients that are interested in buying businesses. They have, maybe a 7-8 figure business. They don't want to go down the SBA path because there's risk, a lot of risk, and it's buying a business already, risky. What will be kind of your thought process for established business owner to think about acquisitions?
Yeah, so if you've already got a 7-8 figure business, right, and you've got something that's doing quite well, two different approaches I think are interesting. One would be the bolt-on strategy. So you buy a business that's already, or you buy a business or a business that could potentially already add value to what you're currently doing. So I don't know, let's say you're doing a particular shoe brand or something, and you buy a marketing agency. A really good target would be someone that you've been working with that has been successful for you. So if you have any contractors, any other businesses you're working with, and you've already got some trust and some synergy there, approaching them, getting closer with them, and then seeing if there's any acquisition opportunity there is an easy add because it's already working for you. You know their how they operate, their success rate, so they're an easy business to purchase. Another one would be, and those are just bolt-ons, so you can basically expand your empire by adding these, hub and spoke kind of businesses that are already operating around your main core business. Another way to do it is roll-ups, and you've heard some people talking about that here, where you take a particular vertical, you start adding other businesses in other, whether it's geographic territories or a slightly different verticals but same basic product, and you start adding on to that, building a much larger business. through valuations, typically the larger the business is, the bigger the moat around that business, the higher valuation you'll get. So if you're adding on, let's say you're doing, I don't know, $1 million a year in EBITDA, right? And you're able to add on through acquisitions an additional $1 million, right? Let's say you would have had a 4 times EBITDA before, so you think, oh, it's 4 to 4. No, you might, add 50% to your EBITDA. You might get a 6x, right, on 2 million EBITDA now, which is a much larger business, right? You're getting 12 million versus, you got 8 million before on that valuation. So you can get it by scale, not just through EBITDA gains.
Awesome, excellent. Any final thoughts for, we call it acquisitions, entrepreneurial investors, and again, acquisition is blowing up, but any final recommendations in 2024 for the state of the industry? What will be your final comments for?
I'd say it's still a buyer's market, 2024. So, the best businesses are going to go for fair multiples, so they're still selling pretty well. Particularly in the range of like the $400,000 to $1.5 or $2 million range is a nice place to go. You can get better seller financing, there's more opportunities, because the large private equity guys, they're doing the 4 or 5 million plus deals, and there's lots of people with, 3, 4, $500,000 to buy businesses, but that like 1.2, 1.3 range is really tough. Not a lot of people are cashed up enough, and it's too small for the large buyers.
Absolutely. That's Justin. He's a legend right here in the industry. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.